Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Today is the very much anticipated CPI data stream. Now, the CPI data is about to come out in around 13 minutes, and it looks like it's going to be a bullish CPI data. Now, I know that bullish CPI data, of course, means a positive impact on Bitcoin's price and, of course, the stock market, etc. However, tomorrow is actually even more important than today itself. So we're going to be getting into a bunch of different things. We're going to be discussing Bitcoin's chart. So if we switch to that, we're on Bitcoin, and we're at currently $26,200. The past couple of days, nothing too crazy has been happening on Bitcoin. We saw the altcoins get absolutely butchered. So we're going to discuss the CPI data, its potential effects on Bitcoin, if I'm going to open a trade or not. And if I do open a trade, what are my next targets? But before I, of course, get into that, I'm going to be checking out the stream. Please do let me know if the stream is doing fine. And if you do let me know the stream is doing fine, that will be absolutely perfect. Can you hear me well? Can you see me well? Please put that in the live stream comments right now. That would be very much appreciated. So once you do that, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to be discussing about this today's CPI event. Now, what is a CPI, right? There's a lot of beginners out there that, don't know what the CPI is. Now, the CPI is a measure of inflation that governments reveal, right? And today we're going to be looking at the US CPI data because it's arguably the most important one. However, this CPI data is, of course, theoretical, right? It's not the actual inflation that is happening around the world. You know, in the US, you go to a store and you purchase, let's say, milk, it's still going to be much more expensive. There's going to be a much higher percentage increase of its price, right, than compared to what the data tells you. Now, if we look at the data, it says that the inflation rate is at 4.9%. But theoretically, in reality, right, it's much higher than this number. So that's why Carl Da Vinci and a couple of other guys, they like to refer to the CPI as a CPI, right? Because it's not really truthful, and it's just something done to, of course, trade markets and manipulate what goes on, right? So it's not the actual information, it's what the government tells you, but it's fine, right? This is what we have. We just know ourselves that the actual data is much more higher than what they publish. So the forecast for the CPI is actually the TEF, so the Trading Economics forecast is 4.3%. The consensus forecast of a bunch of different data providers, banks, etc., come at 4.1%. Now, the previous data was at 4.9%. So this jump from 4.9% all the way down to 4.1, if it comes down to 4.1, this will be a big jump towards the downside. Now, of course, this is very bullish that CPI is coming towards the downside. However, in the immediate short term, if you guys do remember, the Fed Chair Powell said that they will continue to raise interest rates until we hit a 2% inflation goal. Now, this is concerning because that would mean that they would continue to increase interest rates because we're still not at a 2% inflation goal. Now, the FOMC, the interest rate, is actually more so determined by the core inflation rate that will come out also today, and the forecast is lower than the previous one. Now, the core inflation data, I believe, excludes energy and food, so this is the one that we really need to see a lower fall towards the downside so that we know that the inflation rate will either not be increased more so, we're already at 5.25%, which is already a very, very large high. So we just need the Fed to not increase the interest rate tomorrow. Now, if we do see an increase in the interest rate, then I do think markets can dump pretty severely. If we don't see an increase and it stays the same, I still think we'll see a little bit of a dump towards the downside. This I can't say for sure because, of course, my rule is that I don't trade the day before, and the day after news events, just because there's too much volatility, and Bitcoin is usually much less predictable than the actual SPX itself. Right, if we look at the S&P 500, technically, if the Fed does increase interest rates, then we should see a reversal on the S&P. But if they do decide to keep it the same, then it's most likely consolidation or a move towards the upside. That's what it should usually happen. So although today's CPI data is very important, tomorrow's FOMC, which I will also be live streaming, and you should definitely turn on the notification bell once you subscribe to the channel, and of course subscribe if you haven't already to be alerted immediately when I do live live stream, you should definitely subscribe, because tomorrow at 10 p.m. my time, I believe, tomorrow's the FOMC, the FOMC meeting. So let's have a look. Tomorrow at 10 p.m. my time. So make sure to turn on the notification bell, join the free Telegram channel, which you can do so with a link in the description below, and I will alert you guys before I start streaming, because this is when the most important volatility for Bitcoin is going to happen. Now, we still have 8 more minutes for the CPI data to be released, so I'm going to discuss, my potential targets, the pattern I'm seeing on Bitcoin meanwhile, and discuss the news events that happened in the past couple of days, which have been very, very bearish. We had a lot of FUD in the past couple of days, unfortunately, so we're going to be debunking those as well. Now, the first Bitcoin the pattern that I want to talk about is the ascending triangle that we're seeing on the 4-hourly time frame. Now, ascending triangles, they're usually a bearish pattern in technical analysis, but believe it or not, in my personal experience with Bitcoin, ascending triangles have broken more so towards the upside, This is more of a controversial pattern. Some textbooks say it's bearish, some textbooks say it's bullish, but with my personal experience, these ascending triangles usually, after a move towards the downside, break towards the upside. So on the immediate 4-hourly time frame, this is what I'm seeing. Now, we're seeing a lot of resistance from this parabolic SAR, This parabolic SAR is giving us resistance at this $26,280 level on the OKX chart, and it's the spot chart for Bitcoin. It is giving us some resistance because it's also coinciding, with, of course, this ascending triangle's resistance. And if we jump to the daily time frame, then we can see that, if you guys remember, it's been a long time, It's been a long time since we did some Bitcoin TA actually on the channel. It's been a couple of days. We, of course, have this massive trend line that we must keep to stay in a bullish trend, which, the line touches there at 25,200. So I'm going to get rid of this for now. But if you all remember, we opened a trade once Bitcoin broke down from this falling wedge on the daily time frame and took profit when we came down to the 25.2K level. So that was a nice trade, And I always recommend copying this analysis on the chart, on the exchange that you're using, because sometimes, prices may vary a little bit per exchange. So always, copy your analysis that you do on TradingView to your exchange's chart and then execute your charts like that. Currently, I'm using Bitflex to trade for the channel, so make sure to do sign up. It's a very nice exchange so far. They're continuing to build. The team is very passionate and they require no KYC at the moment. And on top of all of this, if you guys deposit $100 to Bitflex using my link and just do one futures trade, you'll have a chance to win the Apple Watch. So that will be absolutely fantastic. So make sure to sign up over there. And if you guys do want to use TradingView and upgrade to the Pro plan, you can use this link over here to get up to $30 put towards your new plan, which is, of course, a very significant amount of money. And if you want to find my socials, you can go to cryptokit.com, and those are all of my real social media, my official social media. I will never DM you first. There's a lot of scammers out there, so always verify by going to this website over there. Now we have 5 more minutes for the CPI data to be released. Now, if we do break above from this ascending triangle, then I do think we'll go back, of course, into this falling wedge on the daily time frame. But there are a bunch of resistances and supports that we have to, look out for. There's a lot of levels, and I'll be showing you that just now. But in 2 seconds, because I want to check the chat if you guys have mentioned anything for me to check out, or you guys have any suggestions. So let's see what is going on. You guys want me to look on XRP. Okay, I'll have a look on XRP later on for sure. We have 300 people in the live stream. Let's get the stream. Actually, I'm not sure how many people, how many likes we're on. So let me refresh the stream and see how many likes we're on. We are at approximately 62 likes. So let's get the stream to 150 likes. That would be absolutely phenomenal. But now I can share you the levels that we need to watch out for Bitcoin. So if I get rid of this falling wedge, actually, let's get rid of this falling wedge. We don't really need it. And let's get rid of this ascending triangle at the same time. So if you all remember, you've been watching the channel for a very significant amount of time now. I mean, it's been a very, very long time since we discussed this channel, these continuation channels, these levels of support and resistance. It's the same thing because Bitcoin hasn't been doing much, unfortunately, over the past couple of weeks. But if we do break above from that ascending triangle I talked about, the next very critical level of resistance that Bitcoin will face will be at the $26,600. We must go above this level, otherwise we can have a retest and dump even lower. Now, I actually have only one trade, waiting to be opened on Bitcoin. I'm not sure if it will ever trigger because it will be at the $25,200 where I'm planning on opening a short position. And these are my two take profits, and my stop loss will be at 25.8. I've not set it yet, right? I'm still waiting. I have a no trade rule for today, tomorrow, and the day after that because of the volatility. But let's see, right? We're still at the EMA ribbons. We're still below the 200 period EMA. If we do see a reversal from here, then I've been discussing this for a very long time, right? We could see a double top on Bitcoin. That's what is, a bit concerning. If we fall below, then it could be a head and shoulders pattern. So to continue this bullish uptrend, we really need to go above the $31,000 level, because if we zoom in, we are on the daily actually on a bearish trend. So as you can see, we've been making lower highs and lower lows on the daily, or when you zoom into the weekly chart. So this is something we need to break out of for me to flip bullish. However, I still do remain bearish, unfortunately. Now there's approximately 1 minute left for the CPI data to be released. So I'm going to jump into the lower time frames. Now, if we put back the falling wedge, we put back these two trend lines, then I can jump back into the 1 hourly. Let's go to the 1 hourly because that is where all the action is going to happen. Let me know in the comment section below, are you in any trades? Are you preparing to go into a trade? Are you guys very degenerate and trading the hell out of this two news events? Because personally, I'm not. Bitcoin is not predictable enough for me to trade these news events. Of course, the traditional markets like the stock market is much more predictable to trade on these news events. So if you guys got the guts, let me know in the comment section below. Really, it's too volatile for Bitcoin during these news events, so I like to stay away from it. Now, we are trying to break above this ascending triangle, but as you guys remember, on the 4 hourly, we are still facing this parabolic saw resistance. Okay, so we have less than a minute for the CPI data to come out. This is where a lot of volatility is going to happen. Now, of course, there is very little time left, so be careful if you have any trades open. Even if you are trading news events, do not trade with high leverage because, again, on an asset like Bitcoin, stuff like this can happen and things get very volatile. So let's go to the CPI, refresh what happened on the CPI data. We came to, let's have a look. It's still not updated over here. The inflation data came to 4%. Wow. That is absolutely bullish, so Bitcoin is breaking out. That is even lower than both the trading economics forecast and the consensus forecast. So Bitcoin is having a massive pump towards the upside. Of course, the target of this pattern would be the height of it, right? And you would put it above the breakout level. So that would give us a target of $27,000. And do put your stop loss to break even. Again, nothing this stream is financial advice whatsoever, but just be careful of this volatility. A lot of people are probably going to get wrecked. So the inflation data came out at 4%. This is bullish for the long term, right? This is bullish for the very long term. In the short term, what changes stuff is going to be the FOMC, the FOMC conference tomorrow, what they reveal tomorrow, if the interest rates are going to stay the same, or if they're going to actually increase it another time. That will be where the very, very large volatility comes in. And of course, the press conference afterwards will also give Bitcoin even more volatility. But currently, there's still 3 hours and 28 minutes for this 4 hourly candle to close. It looks like we've broken above the parabolic SAR, which is very, very bullish. And we have a bullish signal on the parabolic SAR on the 4 hourly time frame. But of course, we need this candle to close for a confirmation on that. But this is what's happening so far. If we have a look at the S&P 500, this is not the pre-market for the S&P. So the pre-market for the S&P, I believe, is the SPX. So if we look at what is happening on the pre-market, no, the SPY, sorry, the SPY. So let's go to the SPY, and the pre-market is trading much higher, so at 435. So the S&P is continuing to rally, of course, with the CPI data. As I said, it's much more predictable for traditional markets. The CPI data came lower, so the traditional markets are seeing a rally. So is Bitcoin, thankfully. Now, if we go to the SPX chart, I mean, I've been telling you guys about this for a long time. We were forming this, this ascending triangle, and I did say most likely, I believe I said we can break towards the upside, or if we do break towards the upside and break past this prior swing high at 4.3, then it will be super bullish for the S&P 500, because of course, then, right, we've now broken above from this downtrend that was forming on the weekly. So the S&P is looking back again bullish. Leave in the comment section below, do you think the recession is over? Did we see the recession? Was the recession right over here? And people just thought it would continue going lower, but the markets fooled us all. So what do you think about that? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, what is happening to the DXY? Of course, DXY is something very important to look at. Although Bitcoin broke most of its correlation, well, it's still remaining correlated, but sometimes it decides to break away from its correlation. The DXY is looking pretty interesting, right? So if you want me to have a look at the DXY, we're in this little continuation right over here, right? I can't say much, but there is this very interesting continuation, or this falling wedge, if you want to call it, forming on the DXY chart. Now, falling wedges are bullish, and if the DXY does break above, then of course Bitcoin, if it remains with its correlation, would continue breaking towards the downside. But I just think that the US dollar does not have a bright future. It has, if the US debt ceiling defaulted, then it would have been game over, but they've just extended their life cycle for the United States dollar. Of course, the US dollar is not going to crash like this, but I'm waiting for 2025 for the US dollar to lose its status as the world reserve currency. That's the time that I'm waiting for the dollar to lose its value. So guys, just hang in there for Bitcoin. As I said, there is a lot of volatility, so make sure to put your trades at break even. Not financial advice, just speaking from experience. But let's see what happens in the next couple of hours, and especially tomorrow for Bitcoin. Now I'm going to go through some of your comments. Do you guys want anything for me to look at? Do you have any comments? Just let me know in the comment section, because this is the time for me to go through. So everyone's been really telling me to go through XRP. I don't know what the deal is, right? I'm not a big alt guy. So let's have a look at what XRP is doing. I have Mr. XRP actually in the background. Mr. XRP, what is happening?
Going crazy.
XRP is going crazy. Wow, this chart I've not looked at for a very long time. So let's remove a bunch of stuff. What happened, man? Why is XRP doing this?
XRP is ready to skyrocket.
Why? What was there a news event or something?
Of course, because this lawsuit will finish soon. And
Soon.
We have really bullish news regarding that. That's why.
So from my take, I'm going to ask Mr. XRP's take, who's the wonderful guy, helping me with the stream, is, we've seen Robinhood, we've seen US exchanges be scared of altcoins, right? Begin to delist them and just fall into the trap that, are we on the direct camera? Let's switch to that. So they're really fallen into the trap of the SEC when they've called, right, these tokens, altcoins, securities. Now I can actually find it, so let's remain on my face, and then let me search to find that. I think it was on CryptoRank. I saw Crypto Banter showing this. So securities token list. So this will be interesting to look at. Securities token list. So this is something I wanted to really go through on my channel. Now let's go through this. There we go. CryptoRank.io. I think I found it. Let's stay on my face. Okay, now we can switch to the chart. So if we look at the screen share, we can see that these tokens were classified, well, it's classified as securities by the SEC. But the thing that people are failing to understand is that for a token to be classified as a security, it needs to go through a proper judicial process in court. Now, this is exactly what is happening with XRP. XRP got the lawsuit, it's being trying to be charged as security, but it looks like, right, XRP is winning the case and it could be over soon. Now, what that means on a macro scale for all of the altcoins is that if XRP wins this lawsuit, no matter how many times the SEC says, look, these tokens are securities, the truth will be that they are not. So that is very bullish, right? XRP has to skyrocket. We can see that in the past 30 days, we've seen XRP skyrocket 30%, but a lot of the other altcoins are suffering very drastically. And let me tell you this, I think this is the perfect time to be, dollar cost averaging into some of these altcoins. My top picks from here, of course, well, personally, XRP's use case, I'm not a huge fan of because XRP, Ripple itself is what's going to provide all these solutions. And really, in my opinion, XRP is not really needed. But I know a lot of you are going to destroy me in the comment section below, and Mr. XRP is looking at me very badly over there, so I'm not going to continue talking about it. But of course, BNB is a top one. Solana, top one. Polygon, in fact, I'm going to buy today. I'm not going to even lie. Today I will stack up on some Matic because it is dirt cheap, guys. Matic is dirt cheap. And I know you look over here and we already saw this massive rally. It's still dirt cheap. Like Matic, it's just so cheap. And it's going to be awesome for Matic. I really do believe in the long run. A lot of play to earn games are developing on Matic. So personally, I'm going to stack up on a lot of Matic after today's live stream. And, do your own research on Matic. It's really, really amazing. And, some Matic projects did very well in the last bull run. Algorand, another favorite of mine. I love Algorand. The founders behind Algorand are actually from MIT. And they have a beautiful project. They're trying to work with the governments to, help out with their, for example, there were rumors that they were trying to help Turkey because, of course, the Turkish lira is it's gone crazy and Algorand wants to fix this problem. There was rumors about that, and there's rumors that they work with a lot of governments to try and help with their economical situation and bring the Algorand blockchain for transactions. So Algorand is super interesting in my opinion. So do check out Algorand, another very dirt cheap project, right? So go through that for sure. Now, if we jump back into Bitcoin again, right, XRP is having a bit of a reversal after this mega run. But if we have a look into Bitcoin one last time before we end off the stream, Bitcoin is at $26,300. Now, as I said, nothing too crazy happened. I don't know where these guys came from. Nothing too crazy happened, right? Tomorrow is going to be the much more crazier day. So do stick around until that live stream. And if you want to be alerted immediately, again, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like on the stream so you guys know whenever something happens, whenever I post. It is very important. And guys, check out my Turkish channel. I'm going to be uploading over here much more frequently. So if you are Turkish in the audience, do make sure to check out the Turkish channel. All you got to do is go to my channel and scroll to the very bottom, and boom, you can subscribe over there and turn on the notification bell too. But guys, I think I will end it off over here. I'm going to check the comment section one more time if you guys have any more questions, but that's it. Yeah, I guess there is no more really questions about any other tokens or the CPI situation, etc. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Let's switch back to my face. Are we on my face, bro? Okay, perfect. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy the stream. I hope it was very valuable. You found some very cool value. Again, as I said, tomorrow will be a bit more important because that's where the real volatility is going to kick in for Bitcoin. We're now back to pre-CPI numbers for Bitcoin. As I said, this won't be that big of a deal. Tomorrow will be much more big of a deal. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy the stream. And guys, wishing you a very awesome day. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody, and